Okay, so you want to retire in Portugal, sell the house, get the visa, find a little place near the ocean, and live well on $2,500 a month while your friends back home fight over the thermostat and the price of eggs. That's the plan, and it's not a crazy plan. Portugal has been ranked the best country in the world to retire year after year by almost everyone who publishes that kind of list. Here's the problem. The single biggest reason Americans started moving to Portugal, the famous tax deal that made it a retirement haven, no longer exists. It was shut down at the end of 2023, and a remarkable amount of the internet has not noticed. The videos are still up, the blog posts are still ranking, the seminars are still selling. They're describing a country that, financially speaking, closed 3 years ago. By the end of this video, you'll know what it actually costs to retire in Portugal today, because for some people it genuinely does, just not for the reasons you've been told. And if this video helps you decide, I'll appreciate a subscribe. Now let's start with the part everyone gets excited about, the cost of living. Portugal comes in 3 price tiers, and they are 3 different retirements. At the bottom, the interior, small towns in the center of the country, the Silver Coast an hour north of Lisbon, places most tourists never see. A retired couple can live comfortably there on roughly 1,400 to 1,900 euros a month, all in. Rent, food, utilities, dinners out. In the middle tier, Porto and the more reasonable parts of the Algarve, towns like Tavira and Lagos, figure 1,600 to 2,400 euros a month. For a comfortable single, more for a couple. And at the top, Lisbon, Cascais, and the prime Algarve coast, where a modern one-bedroom in a central neighborhood now rents for 1,300 to 1,800 euros a month by itself, and a comfortable budget runs 1,900 to 3,200 euros. Still cheaper than Miami, but no longer the bargain your neighbor's cousin found in 2017. Now this is where Portugal looks almost suspiciously easy. The visa. The route most American retirees take is called the D7, the passive income visa. To qualify in 2026, you need to prove passive income of 920 euros a month. Read that number again? 920 euros. That's roughly $1,000. It's tied to the Portuguese minimum wage, which is exactly what it is, the amount the average Portuguese worker is legally guaranteed to earn. Add 50% for a spouse, keep about 11,000 euros in a Portuguese bank account, show a lease, a clean record, and health insurance. Government fees come to a few hundred euros. Processing takes 3 to 6 months. For an American couple with a normal Social Security check, the income requirement is not a hurdle. It's a formality. And that should make you suspicious, because when a country makes the door this cheap, the door was never where they planned to collect. Here's how it happened. In 2009, Portugal created a program called the Non-Habitual Resident Regime, or the NHR. The pitch was simple. Move here, and for 10 years, your foreign income gets special treatment. In its final form, foreign pensions were taxed at a flat 10%. 10% on your pension, your IRA withdrawals, your 401k distributions. For an American retiree, it was one of the best legal tax deals on the planet, and it worked exactly as designed. Tens of thousands of foreign residents arrived, money flooded into Lisbon and the Algarve. Then the deal did what deals like this do when they succeed. It got expensive for the host. Housing prices in Portugal have doubled relative to family incomes in a decade. That's the OX number, not an angry bloggers. Locals watched neighborhoods price them out, while foreign residents paid 10% on income several times the national wage. The politics turned. And on December 31st, 2023, Portugal closed NHR to new applicants. Everyone assumes it was replaced by something similar. It wasn't. The replacement, nicknamed NHR 2.0, officially a tax incentive for scientific research and innovation, is built for working professionals in specific sectors. Pensions are explicitly excluded. Retirees do not qualify. The Portuguese Tax Authority has confirmed it in regulation and in practice. If you arrive today as a retiree, there is no special regime waiting for you. There is just the standard Portuguese tax system. So what does the standard system look like? Progressive brackets running from 13% up to 48%, plus a solidarity surcharge of up to 5% on high incomes. And here is the part that catches Americans specifically. Once you spend 183 days a year in Portugal, you are a Portuguese tax resident, and Portugal taxes your worldwide income, your Social Security, your pension, your IRA and 401k withdrawals. All of it lands in those brackets. Let's make that concrete. A retiree with 60,000 euros a year in pension income, call it $65,000. Under the old NHR deal, the Portuguese tax bill was about 6,000 euros. That same person arriving today pays roughly 18,500 euros under the standard brackets. Same person, same income, same country, 12,500 euros a year of difference. Over a 10-year retirement, more than 120,000 euros because of a date on a calendar, and you still belong to the IRS. America taxes its citizens wherever they live, so you'll file in both countries for the rest of your life. The tax treaty and foreign tax credits mean you generally won't pay twice on the same dollar, but here's the cold arithmetic. Credits don't refund the difference. You end up paying whichever country's bill is higher, and for most retirees under the new rules, the higher bill is now Portugal's. Add the compliance layer, foreign account reporting, treaty positions, a cross-border accountant who will run you $1,000 to $3,000 every single year, because filing in 2 countries is not a do-it-yourself project. Now notice who's still making money on the old story: the relocation industry, the consultancies, the visa packagers, the conference stage lifestyle gurus, built a business on the 10% pitch, and plenty of them are still running it, just with quieter fine print. The visa consultant gets paid whether your tax bill is $6,000 or $18,000. The seminar gets paid before you ever see a Portuguese tax form. When a country stops subsidizing a dream, the people selling the dream rarely update the brochure. You have to read the tax code or pay someone neutral to read it for you because the person selling you the move is not neutral.
There's a second cost that has nothing to do with Portugal, and it starts at the airport. Medicare does not cover you outside the United States. Not partially, not with paperwork. It stops at the border. The coverage you paid into for your entire working life is geographically locked to the country you're leaving.
Portugal's answer is genuinely decent, and that's the honest part. As a legal resident, you can register with the public health system, which is well regarded and costs users very little at the point of care. But public means waiting lists. And waiting lists are why most expat retirees also carry private insurance. To get the visa at all, you need a private policy. A basic compliant one runs 400 to 1,000 euros a year for a healthy adult. But premiums are priced by age, they climb every year you hold the policy, and insurers can decline or exclude the exact conditions you're most likely to need covered in your 70s. Meanwhile, many American retirees keep paying their Medicare Part B premium back home, a couple $1,000s a year for coverage they can't use, because dropping it and re-enrolling later triggers permanent penalty surcharges. That's the healthcare gap. Paying for one system you left, one system you're waiting in, and one policy that gets more expensive precisely as you get older. None of it is a crisis. All of it is a line item the beach photo never shows. And then there's the line item that ate the whole story: housing. Portuguese house prices have doubled in 15 years. Lisbon is now among the most overvalued markets in Europe. The Golden Visa program that let foreigners buy residency through real estate was shut down in 2023 for the same reason NHR was. The locals had had enough. Here's the uncomfortable symmetry. Your D7 visa requires income of 920 euros a month, which means the country's entry bar for you is exactly what a Portuguese worker earns at minimum wage. And you're arriving with 3 or 4 times that. You are not a guest in that housing market. You are the pressure. Understanding that explains both why prices look the way they do and why the tax welcome ended. Time to pull it all together and answer the actual question. What does it actually take to make this work? Scenario 1. A couple with $3,800 a month in combined Social Security and a $400,000 IRA. They skip Lisbon and settle on the Silver Coast, renting a 2-bedroom for 750 euros. Their living costs run about 2,000 euros a month, comfortably inside their Social Security alone, with modest IRA withdrawals on top. Portuguese tax on that profile after deductions and the treaty math lands somewhere in the range of 5,000 to 8,000 euros a year, plus the accountant. Their total cost of life, housing, living, healthcare, taxes, compliance still comes in meaningfully under what the same comfort costs in most American metros. For them, Portugal still works. Not as a tax haven, as a cost of living arbitrage with a tax toll on the bridge. Scenario 2. Same savings, but the dream is Lisbon proper. Rent alone takes 1,500 euros. The lifestyle budget hits 3,000 a month, so they're pulling harder from the IRA, and every extra withdrawal climbs the Portuguese brackets, which climb fast. Their annual tax and compliance bill can run double scenario 1s. Then the realistic year happens. The dollar weakens 10% against the euro, which silently cuts every check they receive. The landlord resets the rent at renewal in a market where rents only move one direction, and a health issue lands them in the private system at 70-something premiums. No single disaster, just 3 ordinary events, stacking in a plan that had no margin. That couple isn't ruined. They're just living a version of Lisbon that costs more than the American life they left, while filing taxes twice.
The difference between those two couples is not their savings. It's that one of them priced the new Portugal and one of them priced the old one. Portugal still has mild winters, safe streets,
good healthcare for the price, and towns where your money goes further than almost anywhere in Western Europe. If you rent before you buy, stay out of the trophy neighborhoods, plan your withdrawals around the Portuguese brackets, and budget for 2 tax returns a year, the numbers can still come out ahead. What Portugal no longer has is a special deal for your pension. So here's the question. So, you want to retire in Portugal. Are you actually ready to do so? Drop your thoughts in the comment section.